Okay, back to our heads here. Let's a bunch of gaskets down here to choose from. Need head gaskets. Let's see, those fit really loose, so that means it takes some kind of an O-ring. Thought they were making gaskets now where you didn't need to have stupid O-rings on them, but see how these are loose on here like that? That means it takes an O-ring of some type. So we gotta find some really small ass O-rings. Should be 4 of them. So I guess up about like that size would be my guess. That's too thick. That's too thick also. Don't like that one. That looks good. That looks good. These are all different sizes though. There's another one of those. What else do we got here? That's all we got. Yeah, wonderful. We don't have 4 of anything. I think there'd be 4 of the same. Yeah. Yep. Got 2 of that. Got 3 of these. 2 of those. Got 4 of those. Those ain't gonna fit. These aren't gonna fit in. They're way too big. So that's all we got to choose from, huh? Wonderful. These are both drain bag holes, I think. See, this does not go through, only this one does. So technically only on the exhaust side is all the oil holes. Intake exhaust, so the exhaust is your drain. It looks like that's the one. So that goes in there like that. The problem is these are thin head gaskets, and this is probably a thick ass O-ring. Looks like a 60 thou thick. These are 35 head gaskets, 36, so that means they're going to be hard to squeeze these down enough to be in here. Yeah, it's not a good design at all. Yeah, you should have a special O-ring that's the right thickness. This isn't it. You actually hold the head off the surface when you don't have the right thickness O-rings. Yeah, so you got a 70 thousandths O-ring here. And you got to go down to a 35 thou gasket. You got to squeeze that thing in half. That takes a lot of pressure. The gaskets, they should have a special O-rings for that. Obviously they don't. You have to have something on there that's going to leak. I guess they're relying on the head bolt holes to center up everything else. Twin cams usually have gaskets in there now that do all the sealing. See, this in a hole like that, it fits around there nice. See, nice tight fit. Well, that thing is way too dang big. I don't like that at all. It doesn't fit in the hole and it's way too thick. You don't want it down there somewhere anyway. There it is. These ones here, same thickness. There's 4 of these. I don't know where they go. They probably go someplace. You can stretch that thing way out and that'll make it thinner. We might need that for something else. Alright, I'm gonna go see if I got some O-rings laying around. We'll be back. Looking through the instructions here. This is their parts list. I wouldn't really call it instructions. But so if we go read through this and look for the gasket, the head gasket kit, gasket cylinder head, part number varies, O-ring, head gasket locating, 4 of them. Asterisk, note these 4 rings are not provided in kits with multi-layer steel gaskets. Yeah, that's because they don't need them. Or orange beaded gaskets. Okay, so they're saying 50 thou by, or ½ inch by 70 thousandths. Once again, we're going down to a gasket that's super thin. Doesn't make sense. So the ½ inch O-ring is this one. You know, it's actually, yeah, still 68, 70 thou thick. So I want you to use this gasket here, which is loose as a goose. Why in the hell would you use that thing? I have no idea. So this is the O-ring, this is the gasket I want you to put in here. Look at that, it doesn't even come close to fitting. And how the hell are you going to put that into that small little hole? And it's way too thick anyway. These gaskets are 44 thick right now. They're supposed to go down to 35 or 36 when they're compressed. So this O-ring has a 7/16 ID, which actually fits the 7/16 dowel. It's the same thickness O-ring, so it has less rubber than this one does to compress. And I don't like that one. That thing is stupid putting that one in there. So anyway, that's what they said to do. I ain't going for that. If you had a 43 thou head gasket, that'll be fine, but even that's pushing, it'd be more like 60 would be better. Right, I'm still gonna go find me some O-rings. We'll be back. Okay, we're back. Okay, this is the correct twin cam head O-ring, which is, looks like the little small one I was using. But these might be slightly thinner, so I can open and find out. And this is a set of gaskets I didn't use, which is the same gasket as this one, but an older style. This one has the blue goop across the whole surface, whereas in this one didn't have it around this. And it has these little small O-rings, which are, looks to me like these little small ones right here. So it looks like they're supposed to be using these. Be my guess. So if you got these and you're stretching them way out, that will make them thinner automatically. If you stretch rubber, it gets thinner. So that'd be my guess, that's the one that's supposed to be in there. These are the stock ones. So I'm going to try these little small ones here. I'm going to squeeze them across the top of that and try to get some kind of a depth idea how tall it is, and we'll go from there. See, if I knew these weren't used on anything else on the bike, then I would know this is where it belongs. But I don't know that. I do know this O-ring is a tight squeeze to make it go around this big ass dowel pin. There we go, it went around. Okay, I don't know if I can measure it now. So I'm going to have to push it all the way down to measure it. So we're getting 48 thousandths now, which is a nice drop off in size. That'd give me about 10 thou compression, which would be good. So that will work. I like that one. So I think that's probably what they were originally going with. Put on there. We'll check our gasket fit. And it fits in there nicely like it's supposed to now. There you go. See, nice squeeze right there. It's not a little bit of looseness on it. It's not tight. So that gives you a little bit of room for the O-ring to expand out, because the rubber has to go somewhere when you compress it. At some point it will hydraulic and not let the gasket work. I've seen that done. Back in the old days, these were 70-something thou thick. The gaskets were 62. And if you put that thick O-ring into a 45 thou gasket, the gasket would stay above the surface and leak right past. You have a blown head gasket. You just actually just let them torque down all the way. Alright, so luckily I had an extra one there to see all this. So it looks like this does work. So you just have to be smart enough to know if things are wrong. You gotta figure out what you're gonna do. And these O-rings are not the ones in the instruction sheet. So they're parts list sucks. That's a generic parts list, not for this application. Well, you can't always rely on paperwork that comes with anything. You still have to use common sense. Okay, so we got those in there. Good deal. We got our head bolts here. Some more. I like to put a little oil on my head bolts on the face here. Make them a little bit slipperier. And I put a little bit of oil on the thread in here. I already oiled the stud, but I put oil in here also. That way everything gets oiled up pretty good. Okay, here's our heads. I like to put the O-rings in here before I put the heads on. So that'll be these big thick black ones here. So you just put those in there. That way you know they're in there. Same deal, use your fingernail to make sure it's sitting there all the way and without a twist. Get a really good tension on them. There you go. That one and one more. Okay, that'll work. His exhaust gaskets here looks like they're reusable. Okay, so I'm going to put the head on. Goes on like that. Okay. Take our head bolt. I missed putting head on, didn't I? We put the head on. I like to look right through the head bolt hole, line up over the stud, get one dowel on it, and then rotate the head until it goes down where it belongs. It just drops down. Try not to scratch the surface. Good thing. Alright, so you've got to put a little bit of oil in the bottom, in here. And you put a little bit on the surface here. It's lubed. You shouldn't have any rust, any spacers or anything under them. If you put too much oil in there, the bolt won't go down. So don't put too much in there. This one obviously had a blown head gasket in it. So I need just a drop or a glob. A drop or a glob, your choice, whatever you want to call it. Just don't pour it in there. That was not lining up. And one more. Quite a bit on that one. Okay. So I gotta put a little pressure on the bolts to get through the gasket or whatever's misalignment we got going on. Get them started. Try to get them all started before you do anything stupid. That one don't want to go down. That one's not going either. Not sure what the problem is with that. Nope, they went. There you go. Once the gasket lined up, it went in. So don't beat on it with a hammer, don't push too hard, just kind of wiggle things around until it starts to go. Just put a little bit of pressure on these, not much. Everything's kind of settled in. These are going right in on these ones. Yep. You're putting about 2 or 3 foot-pounds of torque on these. Whatever I'm doing, 3 fingers lightly. Okay, whap, whap. The heads are still moving a little bit, so I just let them kind of center up a little bit. Make sure the cylinders are all the way down, there's nothing, O-rings poking out or anything stupid going on. Same on the head gasket surfaces. They look good. So just kind of check everything to make sure it's all flat in here like it's supposed to be. There's nothing, no air gaps under anything over there. This side's closer. Same with the cylinder decks. Make sure they're all down like they're supposed to be. So if everything looks like it's good and down like it's supposed to be, you're good. It's hard to see in there, but like I said, if it's any kind of a gap right now, you got something wrong, it's time to fix this now. Okay, next thing you gotta do is get the intake manifold lined up before you torque it all down. You got 3 ways of doing that. You got a manifold that you can stick in there and line it up, bolt it down, put a little tension on it, tighten this up, tighten the heads up, kind of tighten everything together. It should align itself up automatically. That's one way of doing it. The other way is you can take the mounting bracket that comes with it, center them up between the holes, and it should be pretty close. The other way is you go and get the Harley tool that's in the box over there, and it's basically the same thing as this. It comes off these center holes. It puts a preset gap in there, and that's what you use. So this big ass thing here, it's a pain in the ass to get around, so I think I'm going to use the Harley tool. Now this thing, I'm not sure exactly how good it works, because it's kind of debateful at times whether it does anything at all. Nice piece of plastic. Basically looks like this. So this goes in here. You put the 2 hole bolts in there. Everything lines up to what it is here. Torque it down. Should hold it in the right spot. This one here, same thing. You got holes that go through here. You put bolts in there, and it'll do the same thing. The only problem is the bolts on these are loose. They flop around quite a bit. These ones they fit more tighter because there's spacers that go in these. See, I made up my own hardware kit. Those. So these are the spacer sleeves that go in here, like that. And I got a 3/8 bolt here. Goes between these, holds it all together. You can go either direction, I guess. I like going the low way because it's out of my way. I don't think it really matters which way you put it on. Centerline dimensions the same either way. These bolts are going nice and free without binding. It's always a good sign. Okay, just light pressure on those, all you need. So theoretically the heads are held in the right spot now. You can go ahead and torque them down and it'll stay centered. In the real world, this is plastic, it does move around quite a bit. They might stay centered, they might not. Who knows? Okay, this is my torque wrench. I like the old style stuff. You can either put on 0 and torque it to the number you want, or you can put it on the number you want and torque it to 0. So this is a stock motor. 38 psi, 38 foot-pounds of torque is all they're made to go. So you go to multiple torque patterns. I just bring them down a little bit more with a little pressure. I'm not even looking at the gauge, kind of feel thing. Just bringing things down. Basically, you start inside or outside, I don't care which one. Torque those two, do an X, and you do the last one. And you go back and do the same thing. If you start over there, this will be your next bolt. If you start on this one, this will be your next bolt. But it doesn't really matter. These motors are so stupid flexibility in them, they don't care what you do to them. Okay, that was first torque. Okay, so I like to torque them to 30, and then I go up to my torque number 38. If it's a hot rod motor, you can go up 40, but that's pushing it. And if it's an S&S case or something with better material than the cases, you can punch them up to 43 to 45 max, but 43 is where I kind of like stopping. This one here, we are at
Tatro flex
20. You flex your what? Your muscles?
No, he said that he ain't gonna be there until 11 o'clock. He's 2 hours away.
Yeah, but you need a tool. I don't care where he's at. You got the tool?
No, he said he's in his car with him.
So that means he's already left. So I told you a couple days ago you're going to need it. You didn't do it. So we got what are you going to do for the tool?
I'm about to call someone else. Another member.
Just trying to make sure I'm doing this right. Am I doing this right?
Yep, as more people need to do it like you. They just tighten it up by hand to spec.
What if I do it to the left? Is that the same thing? Okay, what number we can go to now? Go about to there. About halfway to 0.
Yo. Where you at with it, man? I'm gonna come out there. I need a tool.
So I'm leaving about 10 to 15 for the final. Let's see, go this direction. Pretty mushy. Okay, so my basic torque it about here my thumb is. So I'm gonna go ahead and all the way to 0. We'll let that one gasket kind of squeeze in a little bit. Come over here, torque it to 0. There's 0. There's a long ways to go for 0. There's 0. 0, I think. Can't see that far away. Yep, 0. What I like about a dial is you can see what's happening. If you got a clicker, even my snap-on click wrench does not always click. That really screws it up when you don't know what you're doing. Yeah, you're going pretty far. Probably should put another stage in here before I went all this full torque, but oh well. 0. 0. Get went to 0 on that one pretty quick. Yeah, still a little more to go. 0. 0. Alright, so we're going to torque to that number right there. Okay, I'm going to go over here and check it. Gaskets do settle a little bit. So, 0. See, with a nice torque wrench like that, you can go right to your number, and if it doesn't move anymore, you're good. If it does move, then you know you weren't quite there. It's hard to see, too tall. That one went a little bit more. About 5 foot-pounds short, 4 maybe. Okay, go back, check this one. That's 0. 0. 0. 0. Alright, there you go. Old trusty tools still work. It's a torque-o-meter, so you know it's good. It says right on it, torque. One of Dad's old tools. This is my clicker torque wrench. Like I said, it doesn't always work. This snap-on. They don't make this model anymore either. I've had it for about 35 years now. But like I said, it's more than once this thing is not clicked. It happens actually pretty frequently. I don't trust clickers. Never have and still don't. I like dials. Dials tell you something. If you want to use one of those new buzz style ones, you can use those too. I don't always trust electrics all that much either. Okay. So see how this is nice and free? So that means it's lined up to what it's supposed to be, I'm guessing. So that's all you can go by is what the factory tool says. If it's wrong, it's wrong though. Alright, let me clean this all up. We'll be back.